Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Adrian Hawkins from HawkFit, and I'm just here with a quick update. I just competed in my 5th show, and that'll be my last show for the season. And that was located in Iowa. It's called the Best of the Midwest. It was a fun show. It was a two-show format, and so they had a morning show, the prejudging, and then an evening show. That was the first time I had ever done a 2-show format. I'm used to a running format, so that was fun. That was a little unique for me, but just kind of reiterating what I said earlier, that was my 5th show in a season, or in the year, so I'm done. Originally I didn't plan to compete in that show, but I ended up holding my conditioning for another 2 weeks, jumped in it, and it turned out to be well worth it. And just kind of recapping my last year, maybe some advice for people that are thinking about this or just getting into it, as I would definitely plan out your year. And what I mean by that is I didn't plan out my year. I just jumped in a bunch of shows, and after doing it, I learned there's a reason why you only see people at the professional level do either maybe a show a year or every couple of years. And the reason for that is because it's hard on your body. So I did 2 shows in the fall, 1 in the spring, and then 2 in the fall again. And in the 4th and 5th show that I did, the 2 most recent shows that I did, I definitely noticed that I had a hard time towards the end losing the weight that I needed to lose to get that level of shred that I need to compete in the bodybuilding category. And basically, just my metabolism didn't have enough time to adapt to a higher level of calories. So basically, from the 3rd show that I did, which was in May, I had about 4.5 weeks, and then I had to start prepping for another show. So basically, when I tried to start cutting weight, in the beginning it was pretty easy, but by the time I got down to the 180s, my body was like, oh, I remember this. We can go ahead and survive on 1,700 calories easy. So towards the end, it was a little bit harder to get that last little bit of fat off, but still fun. I was ready to be done, and talking to my wife and my coach, they were just like, yeah, do one more show, go at it. And so I did, and it turned out to be worth it. And it was a fun venue, fun show, and I actually ended up getting my pro card there, competing in the classic physique category. So it was pretty exciting. Definitely enjoyed it. Love the moment. And basically what they gave me, I got a trophy, and then if you get your pro card, they give you, well, I suppose it depends on the venue you're at, but I got like a grab bag, and inside the grab bag, the bag was, I suppose it depends on who the sponsors are, but I got a nice like duffel bag from a supplement company that sponsored the event. And then inside the bag there was a few pamphlets of the show, I guess, if you wanted to like laminate the page or put it in sort of a frame so you could remember, oh, this is the show. Then I got my pro card in. They give you a few of those. I got supplements. I got a few blender bottles. I got some clothing. Obviously the trophy, and then I got a plaque, which I think actually I have it right here. So it just kind of says IPE Pro right there, and then it's got the logos, and then at the bottom, professional athlete. So that's pretty cool. I have no idea what I'm going to do with that yet, if I'm going to hang it up or just kind of put it in the background or frame it or whatever. But and then also what I was told is after they finish with my urine analysis to make sure I'm drug free, they'll send me a link. I'll have to fill out some information and like upload a picture that I want, a picture of my choice, and then they'll send me like a little card in the mail, and that will actually be my pro card that I use to compete at events at the professional level. And so still waiting on that email. It'll probably be a few weeks. I was told it's probably going to be a few weeks before they get the results back from that. But you know, my 5th show in a year, I've probably had 10 or 11 drug tests by now. So you know, I'm natural. There's no questions about that. But kind of going back to the show itself, 2-show format, very interesting because I've never done that before. And the thing that made it really unique is it was the first time I tried to do my own tanning. All the other shows I've done, I've always just used the vendor that was on site. But this time I decided to get the Pro Tan and the Dream Tan and do it myself. And the Pro Tan turned out fine. I did that just the night before, kind of based up about 3 layers, and then went to sleep, woke up next morning, got to the venue early and started applying the Dream Tan. Like the directions said you need about an hour for it to work with your skin, and then my coach said do 2 hours. So I started applying it so I'd have extra time. And I'm hoping to have 2 pictures that I can kind of insert here so that you guys can see what I looked like. But between the morning show and the evening show, my tan looked so bad in the morning. There was just, I don't know if I put on too much or what, but it was so bad. It basically looked like I fell in a mud pit. But regardless, I knew it was bad, but there was no point in freaking out about it, because I was still going to have to step out on stage. So I just kind of put it in the back of my mind and went on stage, presented what I had to the best of my ability. And a little bit of a bummer because it was so thick that it definitely did cover up some of my striations. But when I came back for the night show, so the morning show I was on stage probably about 10:15, and then I came back and stepped on stage again for the night show at about 6:10, 6:20, and just insane how a few hours made that much of a difference. After the show, the judges told me that I had the best tan in the evening, you know, and that's just something about bodybuilding, is every time you do something, you're just gaining experience. So maybe if I do it again, I have to start early. Maybe I won't apply as much Dream Tan. It's kind of sounds like I put on too much, but you know, I listened to a few of my mentors and they told me how to do it, and there were a few things that were not mentioned, and one of them that was not mentioned was, you know, how much to put on. It sounded like I was supposed to put on quite a bit, and so I put on quite a bit, but in retrospect it sounds like I put on too much. So it's, you know, it's all a learning process, and that's how you should take it. And that's was a good learning curve. And obviously, as I mentioned before, I did get my pro card, and so that was pretty cool for me, and I was pretty excited. My wife was very excited, especially since I hadn't planned on competing, and so to hold it for the extra 2 weeks was definitely worth it. And you know, along with that, I changed my meal plan 2 weeks out from this last show that I did, and basically to lose the weight that I needed to lose, I took 4 days off and just ate. And what I mean by that is I was probably eating 500 to 700 grams of carbs, just eating till I was like, all right, I'm done. And I dropped my proteins and my fats down quite a bit, and basically I was trying to kind of get my brain and my metabolism into place where it was just like I'm no longer thinking about carbs. And then so with the remaining 10 days, I went back on a diet, and it allowed me to drop my weight back down to step on stage at about 180 pounds. So that was kind of a last minute game change plan, but it actually turned out really well. You know, I kind of recommend, if you're going to do something like that, you talk to someone who's gone through it before, or who can coach you through it, and you also know yourself very well. Because if you don't, and you're a person that likes to binge and you can't contain it when you're doing something like that, and you just end up binging, you could actually end up hurting yourself more than helping yourself. So what I did actually turned out to be super beneficial for me, because it allowed me to get down to a nice level of classic physique leanness, not bodybuilding leanness. As I mentioned earlier, I was not able to lose that last 5 to 8 pounds to step on stage about 172, 174. So this past show I only did classic physique instead of both categories, and I didn't want to waste my money on a category I knew that I wasn't gonna win, or I had no shot at winning, just because I wasn't shredded. So that's why I did that. Turned out to be a good move, but I'm ready to be in my off season. I'm ready to eat. I'm ready to put on some weight, change up my program. I've actually already planned out my next mesocycle, and it's going to be a powerlifting program, so I'm excited for that. I've never done any type of powerlifting before, so it'll basically be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, bench, squat, deadlift, and Tuesday, Thursdays are supposed to be off, but because I train with an individual on those days, my Tuesday is going to be back and biceps, and then my Thursdays is going to be shoulder and triceps. And that way I don't develop too much of a powerlifting body, hopefully. But I'm going to try to keep it as symmetrical as possible and see how it works out. Thinking about competing in a powerlifting meet. I'm not decided yet, so I'm just ready to be in my off season, ready to start moving some real weight in the gym again, ready to have a good time, start eating some food, stop thinking about food all the time. But if you guys have any questions on my DUP, or kind of how I did my nutrition for the last 2 weeks, or questions about a pro card, comment below, let me know, and I'll pop out another video. Till then, thanks.